Okay, everybody, welcome. Tonight is the grand opening for the OCEL Intercollegiate Tournament. Just first off, I'd like to give a shout out to our fabulous sponsor, Gamebox, and I hope you guys have a great night tonight. We're playing um, Waterloo on the blue side and McMaster's on the purple side. Are you here? Deckwood?
I am here.
How's it going,
This
man?
is Nickwood, so it's going all right. I'm just looking at the bands right now, and they seem pretty standard. I think Elise might be a target ban because looking up Doctor, their jungler has a pretty good ratio and high number of games in Elise. I haven't had time to do quite enough research yet, but so we're going to see the Riven ban, and none of these seem horribly team comp oriented as of yet.
Kale seems like
Let's
a.
see.
Do you think that's a targeted ban as well?
Uh, I'm not entirely sure. I don't know quite enough about the teams.
Kale's a really strong pick. She's just not picked that often, I think. Oh, Nidalee first pick. Nidalee's been seeing pretty much 100% pick ban ever since I think somebody, I forget exactly who it was, but they crushed Faker in lane. He was playing Oriana, and this guy just absolutely demolished him on Nidalee. It was pretty amazing, actually.
All right, so we're going to see Sivir and Annie, and Sivir has been producing some pretty high win rate numbers in solo queue, so a lot of ideas going around that she is OP right now. We aren't seeing the lock-in yet, so it might be a fake out. Well, we're going to see a switch to Graves, but we don't know too much about the team comps yet. Nidalee is interesting as the first pick just because she tends towards not being able to do that much outside of a poke split push comp, so well, it's pretty well. She is an extremely safe lane, and we're going to see the Silverlock. Nidalee kind of actually predisposes the whole team comp, unless she's going to completely do her own thing the whole game, which is quite a statement of confidence, if so.
Yeah, it definitely gives sort of an insight into the kind of team comp they want to build, because as soon as you see the Nidalee, you know you need to pick engage or at least something to deal with the split push. Everything like Nidalee used to be really good back in the day, but what happened was all the things that were really good against counting, like the super hard engaged champions like Kennen and things like that, all got nerfed. So that's another reason why she's come back. All of these assassins as well, like Fizz and Ari, all of those things got nerfed. So we'll see. I'm pretty sure they're going to go for an all-out poke comp looking at that Zyre, because that's huge disengage.
Yeah, now we're going to see if the Maokai locks in, because I'm not sure I'd like that in a poke comp. Yep, we're going to see switching to Caitlyn. Changed in position, or maybe the Maokai is just a fake out. So we have the Caitlyn look, and yeah, it really does look like they're going to be aiming for Havoc poke comp. Now, on the other side, looking at McMaster, and I'm not sure whether it's Annie support or whether it's actually going to be Annie mid, but we've been seeing more Annie support in competitive games recently. We have the Silverlock, but I don't know quite where they're planning to go with it. But it's that's the Oriana. We have Elisen going down, and they're both locked. And it's looking like we're going to have a pretty strong AOE comp here, as long as with Oriana as well attached to Lee Sin on an ult, Annie's AoE stun on Tibbers, and Sivir just doing a lot of AoE damage.
This is a great comp coming out of Waterloo.
Yep. It looks like they're going very all out in split push and looking to win lane. Split push poke wars. I don't think they want team fights, so we might see a pretty subversive game. Now top is cycling around a bunch. Aatrox has just been hovering, so we may well see the lock on that.
Aatrox is great because he's got a good kite, very good kite for trying to get rid of that engage.
Aatrox is great for disengaging. He's great for getting away. He has the attack speed for split pushing. So, in a game where you don't really want to engage in many fights, he is going to be a pretty solid pick. I'm not sure about this Renekton he's hovering over, though, because a lot of the reason people pick Renekton is just for his ultimate, his ability to stand in the enemy team and just do a lot of damage and survive with the extra health.
Hmm. I think that's probably going to be their split pusher, and I think they picked that in case the other team picks a Jax, because Renekton is one of the only things that it can actually deal with Jax.
Yeah, although I have to say, Jax, the top lane is enough of a skill matchup. There have been multiple matchups, and I mean, there was one in Worlds where Jax did fine in lane versus Renekton and then proceeded to just demolish him for the rest of the game.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's hard to be safe against Jax, but it's looking like we're not going to be seeing a Jax pick. And I don't know, hovering over a Kali against Renekton, you have to be
Let's get some.
pretty confident to do that.
Yeah, we should call Boy Boy in here, see what he thinks about this. Lissandra, I like that. That's really good, actually.
Now we're seeing a lot of hovering around top, and we're going to see Renekton versus Shyvana, so that tends to be pretty even fighting pushing lane. We're seeing a few switches go down. So, looking at these the picks, how do you think the laning phase is going to turn out in this game?
It depends on if they're going to 1v2 or not. I think that's the big question. I'm not sure how good. Like I'm not the biggest AD player, but I assume Sivir is going to be insane in the 1v2 because she's always been that kind of split push AD. I think that they might want a 1v2 because the Caitlyn Zyre lane is just such punishment, and the Annie's got such short range. I'm not sure how it's going to go, but in mid lane, it's definitely going to be a farm off. I think Orianna has the advantage in that lane, but I don't think she'll ever be able to kill Nidalee. I think a big part of this game is going to be how the 1v2 goes down and how the junglers interact.
Yeah, now I have to admit I wouldn't be surprised if we see a bit of sort of just switching around where you see in some of the higher level games where they try to switch to a 1v2 and then the other team doesn't want that matchup, so they switch as well, just because if you look at the matchup, Caitlyn Zyra is just so strong versus Sivir Annie with the range difference. And I mean, well, Sivir can walk into Caitlyn traps or mana with a spell shield. The range difference is just it's awful in lane.
Hmm.
So I'm pretty sure that Sivir and Annie they're going to want the 1v2 lane, but I'm curious as to whether we're going to be seeing Waterloo try to deny that. Nidalee versus Orianna, I'm pretty sure, like you said, is going to be a farm lane, but it's also I think we should also watch out for Lee Sin just because he has the potential to make a lot of plays, and
Yeah, definitely.
split push comp needs to do relatively well in lane because if they're behind in every lane, it's just then they can just get stopped by the other team splitting up, and they don't really have anything to do.
Hmm. I think if it is a 1v2, it's gonna make the mid essentially just a 1v1 with no jungle pressure. And in that situation, the Orianna definitely has the possibility to deny the Nidalee actually, because Nidalee doesn't really get going until 4 or 5, right? And Orianna just puts her shield on, and her auto attacks will just almost always win the trades with Nidalee. So
Yeah, Orianna definitely has the early advantage unless she has really bad luck with dodging spears. If the
yeah,
Nidalee can throw really, really great spears, like the spears like they're Mad Life's hooks, then Nidalee can win almost any lane just by virtue of that, but that's pretty unlikely. And that still also needs some pickup and needs long range. It like really needs to set up, otherwise Orianna can just shield it and it'll turn out alright for. But it's also worth noting, I think Nidalee is relatively aware of that because if you notice, we have a barrier mid instead of ignite, so Nidalee isn't looking for the kill potential. Nidalee is looking to survive the lane and be able to do the split pushing. The most of the damage is going to come from Nidalee's spears, so I'm pretty sure we're going to be seeing AP Nidalee, just death cap and all that.
yeah, for sure.
Because Ignite doesn't really combo with the spear just by virtue of the spear having insane range, so barrier is probably just to try and get to that point in the game
Yeah.
and isolate the lanes.
Similar to the thing where you don't really want to build Bork on Caitlyn, because if you're playing it right, you should never really be close enough to Bork on Caitlyn. You know what I mean? Because your range is so long.
Hmm.
Um, you're a top man, are you not?
Yeah.
So what do you think's going to happen with this Shyvana Renekton lane?
Well, that all depends on if it's the 1v1. Because I think that neither of them are going to both of them are going to have a pretty miserable time in a 2v1 just because Sivir and Annie and Zyra and Caitlyn are both just really good at punishing people who don't have range, but they're both pretty good picks for 2v1s just because they have a lot of AoE damage. They can clear the wave back. They can take a relative beating. In a 1v1, it can go either way. Both of them have pretty decent damage. Both of them can trade pretty well. They have sort of similar roles. But I give Renekton the edge in a level 6 fight just because the amount of damage that comes out as long as he ults near the start of a fight is pretty monumental. But I'd be pretty surprised if we saw a 1v1 lane for very long because I think the 2v1 is going to be pretty crucial.
Definitely. Well, I'm excited to get this game underway. See who wins the skin matchup. Ice Strike
Well,
Shyvana. 1, 2, 3, 4. Got 4 skins, 2, 3. Not looking good.
but and funnily enough, it's the challenger borders without the
Yeah,
skins.
exactly.
Clearly, they're getting cocky. They just think they don't need skins. So, oh boy. Now, yeah, I really would not be surprised to see a lot of lane swapping, just trying to keep Caitlyn and Zyra on Sivir and Annie, just because Sivir's split pushing has always been great. Sivir's ability to push waves and then push towers, it's been pretty massive. But I think that that's also pretty crucial against the split push comp, just because what you don't want is to be behind like 1 or 2 towers when you start to split push and then lose a base race,
Yeah.
because that kind of nullifies the point of the team comp. Well, split push comps don't have to worry as much about the whole intricacies of when to engage in a team fight because, for the most part, they're just avoiding it. They do have to be very careful with their lane phase, just because if they get too far behind in lane phase, then they're never really going to get to that obnoxious going everywhere the opponent isn't, pushing down a tower and then leaving point. And now we're going to be seeing the game start. We're going to be seeing an immediate pause. What's going on with that?
Interesting. I wonder if this is part of their strategy.
Clearly, all to throw the enemy team off
Yep.
and throw the casters off.
Well,
Just throwing everybody off. It's a chaos strategy.
the one thing that we can pick up from this is that Annie didn't get the Biscuiteer Mastery. That's pretty interesting.
Or the solo warden, in fact.
Yeah.
If you click on the money here, Annie is starting at 475. Zyra is starting at 500, so that's 1 point in wealth. But if we're going to just if we're going to be looking, oh, here we go. We have everybody moving out. Now, Annie's starting with pink, and how many greens is that? And yeah, okay. So we're seeing both Annie and Zyra start with full consumables.
The red pot on the Shyvana is pretty interesting. Oh, it looked like another pause. Brutal.
Sorry, wait. We have flaming massive amounts of lag. And yep. Here we have these serious players being incredibly serious and professional.
Yep.
Swearing in all chat. Yep, here we go. Now, the red potion Shyvana, I think that does in fact indicate to me we're going to be like Shyvana's aiming for the 1v1, because I don't see how a red potion is going to work out too well for anybody in a 2v1 versus 2 ranged.
Yeah, unless she's getting to it doesn't really do anything for her.
Yeah, whereas Renekton's sitting on a much more practical Thorn's Shield, which helps with auto harass, gives health, gives regen, and that's a pretty typical start along with Cloth 5 for a 2v1 lane. So it's pretty interesting that we're seeing a red potion start come out from Shyvana, and I think that's either indicative that we're going to be seeing an attempted level 1 fight, or we're going to be seeing Shyvana try to go for the 1v1 lane.
It would be interesting to see if they do one of those lane wards where they can try and scope out the where the 1v2 is going to be, or where the AD carry and support are going to go. Anyways, here we go.
Oh, we have Lee Sin going in for the catch, and all right, Zyra's going to walk out of that down some health, and we have a counter engage. This doesn't look good. This is a 4v5. And it's Shyvana with the red potion. I don't think this is a great idea.
Oh my god.
Wow, we have a pause down just in the middle of the action. Let's keep pausing. Word. Oh my goodness. And it seems that this pause was just for the sake of what is becoming a running joke. Serious players and serious tournaments, people. Remember, when there's a prize pool at hand, things get serious.
Oh, Caitlyn looks like she's in trouble.
Caitlyn flashing out, has the ignite on her, but Lee Sin's going to go after. Caitlyn popping the barrier, but it's looking like Shyvana's going to get there. Shyvana has popped the red potion. Aatrox going down, and the Bloodwell's hardly giving him any health. He's going to die too. And here we have just
Oh, the
McMaster's
spear!
an incredibly early lead.
That was
And now we have
close. Let's see if Nidalee can pick something up here.
that was really close. Italy looking to pick something up. Gonna land a hit on Sivir, but I don't think anybody's going to die. It's looking like that's just a two for nothing, a free for each,
Wow.
two kills from Master. Shyvana has popped the red potion though, but something came of that, and it's looking
Yeah.
like a level 1 fight they were looking for certainly happened. So that red potion
So,
did amount to something.
what did we get? Ignite down on Renekton, Exhaust down on Zyra. Both summoners from Caitlyn. Flash from Aatrox. One kill to Lee, one kill to Sivir. That's huge.
Yeah, now interestingly, I was going to note that Lee was starting with a machete in contrast to Aatrox Doran's blade, which indicates a more gank heavy style incoming, but now Lee just has he got that first blood and he's just went with it and bought us straight up razors. So Lee is going to have a pretty easy time clearing the jungle, and I think that might actually just affect the speed at which he and Aatrox square off.
Yeah, definitely.
Although he's just starting right at red a little later than Aatrox.
They do get the 1v1.
And
You see that, eh?
mm,
Except she's got her red pot started already. She did pick up a ward or two,
yeah.
though.
And that's interesting, though. I really do think it's interesting that they planned for the 1v1, because I think that's a pretty big save confidence. Annie and Sivir, the range difference. Oh, we have a play going down at mid here. Nidalee popping the barrier, Lee Sin taking the spear, but everybody gets out alive.
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna try and get the sound working here. Apparently, it's
All
not
right.
working on our stream.
All right. And meanwhile, oh, wow. Packed Sivir at bottom lane, just going on with the skills, and her base damage is so high. Zyra and Caitlyn are being a little too sloppy, and it's costing them. And we might see something happen soon at bottom, depending on how many uses that stun. And I think then that the red potion was also a display of confidence, because we have both Annie and Sivir, who theoretically I don't think they should have a great matchup against Caitlyn and Zyra. Maybe I'm wrong, but the fact that they're going headfirst into that indicates they're both pretty confident.
Another pause. Okay, so I'm not sure what's going on with my sound. I think there might be some sort of bug with spectator mode, maybe. That's unfortunate. Sorry, guys. I can't do anything about that. These pauses. Well, let's take a look. Shyvana all out of health potions now, so she's got no combat items or anything. As soon as her red pot drops, Renekton's just going to have huge advantage in that lane. And it looks like Nidalee's gone through all of her potions. What else? I wouldn't be
Well,
surprised to see a gank bottom lane soon because of the lack of summoners on Caitlyn.
yeah, and there's just a lot of action going at bottom. Sivir and Annie are just being all out aggressive. They're just trying to. Oh, we have a disconnect. They were. It seems that the internet is not being kind, and we might have an unfortunate game shortage if that's more than just temporary.
Yeah. We'll have to see.
And the time spent paused this game is now equal to time spent played. You know, rough games, technical difficulties. Just keep on waiting, guys. Everybody watching, if just maybe come back in 26 minutes, and they won't be able to pause. Then there'll be action. There's got to be.
Wow. 6 minute
Well,
pause. Okay.
6 minute pause. All right, gentlemen. If any of you have something else to do for 6 minutes, then now is certainly the time, because it seems that we are experiencing some technical difficulties.
Yep, I'm gonna go make some food. Maybe take a nap. Well, I guess this is a good time to talk about the tournament. So, basically, what this tournament is, I'm not sure who exactly is watching. Hopefully, some of you guys from Reddit saw the link. The OCEL is a collaborative effort from all of the collegiate communities within Ontario. So, York, Ryerson, Waterloo, McMaster, U of T. We all have our own League of Legends clubs, and we wanted to put something together, sort of like how CSL and Ivy Law are run, where we can hopefully create some sort of sustainable competition within Ontario. And the way that we're doing this tournament is we're inviting any team that wanted to play to come. Eventually, it's just going to be only collegiate teams, but we're kicking it off with this, and we're going to have a grand finals held live downtown Toronto at one of the auditorium buildings in U of T, the MedSci building, if I'm not mistaken. You guys can find tickets online on the Reddit post that I made. It's $8 right now until Sunday as the early bird ticket. There's going to be cosplayers. There's going to be league artists coming who are going to be doing like sketches and that kind of thing. I have a couple special guests. Red Mercy and Cody from Player POV are going to be casting in a couple days. It's going to be a really cool show for sure. Don't know if you're going to be able to make it. Are you? You going to try and come down?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Well, I can give it a shot. I haven't been too up to date in the arrangements. I'm casting this game because we needed a caster, but if we need somebody down there, then I can head down and I'll scheduling if I can make it. Then why not?
You're at York, right?
Yeah.
Cool. So, how's your guys' league community? I know you guys have, I think it's like 400, 500 people in your group.
Yeah, we have a lot of people. We have some pretty strong players as well. It's just you have people spanning the whole bronze to challenger apparently.
Right on.
Um,
Similar with
it's
us.
hard to yeah, it's hard to compare because I don't know too much about the other universities' league communities. I just know what you get from a relatively large community. So somebody who's well known in one university probably isn't so well known there.
Yeah, for sure. We have, I think the most like famous player we have from our club is Nidus Hermain, who's on GGLA. He's a support player for them. He was at UOT for a while. He's a really cool guy. I'm not sure how many of you guys follow the Challenger scene, but that's the team I'm rooting to get in.
Well, friends in high places, I guess.
Yeah, exactly, right? He's a
Get in,
CLG
go
champ
in.
too, right? And I'm like a massive CLG fanboy, so how can I not?
Just yeah, just make sure to demand your shout out when the time comes.
Yep, yep, no doubt.
Rise to fame on somebody else's shoulders. No problem.
Speaking of which, Travis is gonna be here on Friday. Shots fired.
Yep.
um, that's gonna be pretty fun. That is going on at the JCR at the UC University College at U of T. Same place pretty much where the Wild Turtle fan meet was. He's going to be here 6 to 9. He's going to do a Q&A. He's going to do the fan meet, signings, all that stuff. And then we're going to head to a bar afterwards. That's it's called Poor Girl on College Street. That should be a fun time. Were you around for the Wild Turtle event at all?
I was not.
That was really fun. We had something like 800 people show up. It was really cool. So like we were out right in front of we were in one of the quads, and it was nothing but like league people. It was like a massive line, and there was cosplayers and the whole thing. It was really awesome.
Well, I guess Turtle is pretty popular, but with a smile like that, how can you not be?
Yeah, of course. I was hoping we could do Hotshot because Hotshot's from London,
Hmm.
but I don't know if he's leaving LA anytime soon.
Yeah. I don't keep up too much with the activities of who's going where. I keep up somewhat with the scene, but surprisingly, I'm not actually the most media literate as far as these things go. I know the game more than I know all of the players going around and what they're doing.
Fair enough. I'm a huge fanboy, so
Well, no problem with that.
proud to be.
Well, we're approaching 6 minutes on the on this pod, so hopefully we should be seeing the game resume.
We've got 130 viewers, man. Awesome, even with this pause.
130 viewers. All right, all right. What's 130 times 6?
Don't ask me. I'm an English major.
It's simple multiplication. Okay, fine. 780.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was.
So
thinking.
we're just sitting on 780 wasted minutes here.
Oh god.
No big deal.
What are you talking about, man? We got some good info down. Now they know all about Travis and Nidus Hermaine and all the collegiate clubs and everything like that.
True, true. So just 780 collective minutes that weren't for what they came
Exactly,
for, which was the
exactly,
game.
exactly.
But you know, they say life is all about the distractions.
They
All
did.
right, looks like
Everybody
this game's
had.
going to be starting pretty soon.
Yeah, hopefully. Everybody had the pleasure of. Oh, are we ready? We're good? Okay.
Yep, the game is
Finally.
resuming.
I don't even remember what happened at this point.
Serious.
That's good.
Somebody had to relocate.
All right. I'm ready for the big plays. Oh, bottom lane.
Oh my goodness, and almost dying as the game starts up.
If Caitlyn had
Just
flash.
suddenly the game going back in gear.
If Caitlyn had flash, I'm pretty sure that would have been a kill.
Yep, but thankfully for Annie, she used it earlier. Now, how long does Shyvana have left on the red potion? Because it should be going off pretty soon.
It just ended.
Yep. All right, so that's especially since Lane is pushing back now. So Shyvana's going to hit 4 at the same time as Renekton, but with Renekton and the door and the shield up, I think we're going to be seeing the lane dynamic shift a bit.
Here comes the gank top lane.
Oh, but that
Well played by
Renekton with
Renekton.
the double E.
Well played.
Lee Sin gonna go in, but I'm gonna be surprised if Lee Sin goes all the way for this kill. And yeah, we're not gonna see it. Don't want to die for Renekton when his W could come off cooldown anytime.
So Annie went back. She got a potion. That's it. So we'll see how this lane goes. It looks like Caitlyn and Zyra are actually doing really well against them.
Well, that's what I thought it would come down to. The range advantage is just really excruciating because Zyra can basically establish a zone of control with the plants.
Oh,
And
top lane!
wow, it's all aggressive, just Renekton trying to go in for the kill for the 1-for-1. But the
Wow!
safeguard too slow, just a bit too late off cooldown, and we're going to see the 1-for-1 with Renekton and Shyvana.
That was crazy. I thought that was a big misplay, some miscommunication, but it worked out. Those Diamond 1
Yeah,
plays.
well, question was, this is trade really worth it? But I guess knowing that Aatrox is right there, the lane can be held or pushed, so it works out alright.
Yeah, for sure.
This bottom lane matchup, though, what I was saying is it's just that if you consider Sivir has 500 range, it's just excruciating because if Zyra puts up the plants and Sivir tries to take them out, Caitlyn can move into harass, and it's just so hard to reestablish lost ground without using a lot of your mana.
Yeah, for sure. So do you think that changes the top lane matchup at all? Renekton went double Doran's Blades on top of that shield. And
Yeah, well, it means
Shyvana,
he's pretty clearly aiming to win the lane,
yeah.
and he should be pretty capable of it. I'm interested to see if we have a jungle presence level 6 or if we have an isolated level 6, because in fighting ability, both Shyvana and Renekton's level 6 are pretty turns.
Sorry, what was that?
Just both level 6 is significant for both Renekton and Shyvana. The dragon form changes a lot of things. The ultimate of Renekton does a lot of damage with the extra hit points and all that.
For sure.
So I'm just interested. No, I think he might be looking if he can just trade enough to go for a dive with his own ultimate, because Renekton gets really tanky there, but no, Shyvana's going to hit level 6, so that wouldn't be wise.
Lee Sin's first item was Sightstone, so obviously he's going to be trying to make plays with those the Sightstone, maybe some insect stuff going on.
Yeah.
Also trying to get
Sightstone. Well,
the
Sightstone is just an incredibly aggressive item either way, because if you're using it on Lee Sin jungle, even if you aren't using it to make a lot of ward jump plays, you're going to be throwing it down in the enemy jungle,
yeah,
trying to maintain his control.
getting that sight. Looks like some pressure from mid lane. Both mids kind of mirroring each other in items, to be expected. Oriana's up quite a bit of CS though, which is
Yeah.
kind of what it
But that was
expected.
that was the
Yeah.
pre-6, yeah. That was roughly what you said was going to happen, and it's looking like that's going to be going down. Literally
Pink
now
ward.
to level 6.
Pink ward's coming out from both mids. I like that. Very cool. Unfortunately, they. Oh wow, top tower. I'm sorry, I missed that. Interesting.
Up
Very
tower,
good
yeah,
on top tower.
up tower going down to the Necton and Aatrox. Well, I think the lane towers are actually pretty important this game, just given the split push versus team fight comps.
Looks like we might see a fight here. They know the red's being taken 3v2.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of things going down
Nice
there.
smite.
And we have Lee Sin. Oh, Lee Sin getting cut out in this 3v2. But Renekton with the ultimate is going to be pretty powerful. His damage is going to be high. And as Nidalee joins. Oh, is this going to turn out all right? Aatrox surviving with the
Wow.
Bloodwell.
Spear,
Shyvana making the escape, but
nice.
Oriana going down to the spear.
Beautiful
The
spear.
snipes turning that favorable.
Right on, man. Italy showing them what he's made out of. Very cool. So, how do you think that affects things? Obviously, they got the tower and then just came ahead on that. You think we're gonna see maybe a Dragon Force come out of that? Mid tower is getting low too now, putting some good pressure on that.
Yeah, it's looking like they might be looking to do Dragon pretty soon because mid tower's going down, but also bot's been pushing pretty hard. Renekton is actually, I think, going to come out pretty far ahead in top lane because of this. Because well, he's now even in Shyvana on score. Those two assists he got were ones he didn't have before, and Shyvana is down 350 for the red elixir that did not get her a kill on Renekton. So
I think this is really, really huge for Waterloo because since they've gotten so much early game advantage from this, they're able to just transition into their poke clump so seamlessly. It's just like a perfect situation for them. They can just go down mid, grab Nidalee blue, maybe a blue pot, couple pink wards, and they can just start poking right away. Especially since that top tower is down too, that just gives even more pressure for them to split push
yeah,
mid.
I'm going to be looking pretty keenly for the timing of Caitlyn and Zyra taking down bot tower because once the last outer tower goes down, then that's when the poke comps and when the roaming really comes into play.
Yeah, definitely.
And once you have that, once the objectives start coming into play, then top lane stops becoming such an island, especially once Baron comes up. But once people start roaming, then other people can show up in top lane, and not just the mids or even the bottoms, and it stops being such an island. And I think Shyvana is actually doing pretty well because Shyvana's not spending so much endurance, just got the one blade, no shield, not as a blade, but she's keeping even slightly ahead in CS, not dying. So Renekton, well, he's ahead of tower right now. It doesn't. It looks like he's not really going to be able to press that into second tower or do any of the game-changing things that lead to backdoors.
Looks
So
like
I
we're
don't
gonna
think
see a
top lane.
dragon. They timed that really well. We just got the Sivir back and the Nidalee back and the Zyra back. They all went at the same time, and that looks like a
Yeah, no,
free
that's.
dragon.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty great pickup on McMaster's part, just
Definitely.
because they were in so much disadvantage. They had so much. Their position was so far away from Dragon. They were pushed in, but they just took advantage of all the backs. They absolutely took advantage of the situation, and that got them their Dragon.
Yeah. So great plays from both teams. Really good work. Very interesting play. Lots of back and forth. I did not expect that. So what's next on the table then? If Dragon's down, I guess it's the bot tower. Maybe we'll see a dive, and he's pretty low.
Hmm. Well, Caitlyn and Zyra aren't exactly the best dive comp. I guess it's a bit of a pick in that if you get rooted, they can still Caitlyn can just try to snipe any head under tower. But I think it's going to come down to the root if there's going to be a dive there. But we have Lee Sin coming in, waiting around. So
I was thinking more the
some plays
Aatrox
made.
because he can go in with his passive, right, and just tank the tower.
Yeah, but Aatrox is still some distance away. It looks like he's still content to farm. I don't think they're looking for the dive with Aniston and Sivir that high on health and the spell shield. But no, we have Aatrox coming in. We have Lee Sin also waiting around. Looks like both teams are having the same idea.
Yeah.
So we might be seeing some action bottom pretty soon. Good call.
Nidalee's putting really good pressure mid
Oh,
too.
now we have the root from Zyra coming out. Caitlyn's gonna lose half, or Sivir's gonna lose half her health to Caitlyn, and
Oh,
Aatrox coming in and getting two knockups on the one leap in. No passive up. He will the
nice.
Bloodwell,
Oh, the shield.
but
I
they're
think
going to
Nidalee
get
might be
two
able to
people out
connect
of
this.
that.
Nidalee.
And once again, we have Nidalee with a
What a
spear.
god!
Oh my god, landing the second spear. Nidalee,
Bishu move
not
over.
missing a shot when it counts.
That was awesome. Nice plays. Cool. Perfect.
And
So
Zyra taking the tower to pretty low, but not dying, and the bottom tower's going to go down. And the question is, how are we going to see the lane phases end? How are we going to see it transition to a lot of grouping, or are we just going to see an attempted prolong to push all the lane phase?
in my opinion, I think the Waterloo team is probably gonna buy their items, group up mid, get the blue buff, and then as soon as they get the blue buff, they're gonna try and put pressure into McMaster's jungle, take that over control with pinks, and then abuse the spears because Nidalee is very strong right now.
Yeah,
Um,
I think that sounds like an extremely wise course of action, because if they pink in the enemy jungle with a poke team like this, it basically means that they can safely sit outside almost any of these things because they have longer poke range and they can make the jungle into their zone. It's not actually as risky as it is in a lot more betting compositions where it means that you're looking for an engage or somebody's going to get caught.
Yep. Sivir has picked up her BT though, so that's a really nice power spike for her. I think if they team fought, that it would be very close, but that's the entire point of Waterloo's plan, right? They don't want a team fight, so
Yeah,
it's in the hands of the Lee Sin, I think, to make some nice plays. The Lee Sin and the Shyvana. Oh, here comes Aatrox
Lisa and
from
Shyvana and
behind.
Oriana. If the Oriana ults are good, so oh my goodness, we have Sivir going down at bottom lane out of nowhere.
Wow,
It's just getting flanked, and he's not and he for pretty much nothing.
that was a
That's
crazy
just
gank.
going nowhere good.
That was really well
That
played.
gank just drove him in the tower. And now we have things going down at
Nidalee's
mid.
in trouble.
Nidalee getting away from the gank pretty easily. Nidalee post 6 just so slippery. Just
Yeah.
jumps wherever she pleases. Even Lee Sin's going to have a hard time catching if you can't just two-shot. And it doesn't look like Lee Sin's going to be building too much damage, so I don't think he's going to be having much luck with Nidalee.
Well, because of that gank, they didn't even need to group mid. They just straight up. Oh, some
Oh, we
aggression
have
top
action
lane.
going down at top here. The Ignite, and Shyvana's going to go down, using the Dragon Form to try and escape, but it's not enough. And
Nice.
Renekton coming ahead just with the mid game, the power ults. He's got a pickaxe. I'm not sure what he's building that into because he's left his giant spell just as that. No Sunfire.
I wouldn't be
And now
surprised
we're
if.
having.
Sorry, go ahead.
We are having. I'm just. I was just thinking Lee Sin might be in some danger because at that level gap, even under tower, Renekton's a danger. But no, Renekton's going down.
Yeah, I was gonna say I wouldn't be surprised if he picks up the Tiamat. I think that's probably what the pickaxe is gonna go into, just to give himself some more split pushing power. Since Siobhan is still gonna have an issue with the wave clear, if he can get that much split pushing or split pushing pressure, I think it would cause quite a few problems for McMaster.
Yeah, I agree. I just think it's interesting that he's leaving the giant spelt at just the giant spelt,
Yeah, for sure.
which is a little unconventional. But I agree. The Ravenous Hydra in this, especially in a split push team comp, it's a good way to fit Renekton
Here
in. It
comes the gank
synergizes the
bottom.
W. And oh, we have Caitlyn getting caught. The insect plays from the Lee Sin, just stopping over and kicking her into the group end. That's going to be an easy kill.
That was a good play by Lee. I think that was probably a wasted barrier, but I don't blame her.
Yeah, but people waste summoners all the time when they're trying to get out of death. You just panic and
Oh, they got banned from TeamSpeak.
what?
uh,
And
I don't
from
even know what to
TeamSpeak.
say to that.
Ladies and gentlemen, the league community at its finest.
Yep. Who says Canadians are nice, right? Getting banned from TeamSpeak. Too much shit talking.
I hear Canadians are pretty nice, but university students, on the
Yeah.
other hand, those guys, bad manner all over.
That's hilarious. Okay, well, let's take a look at the gold. That's the one thing we can do when it's paused. So,
Mhm.
let's see. Yeah, pretty much every single lane counterpart is ahead. Yeah.
Yep. Waterloo's hybrid team is it's inevitably, it's just ahead in pretty much every manner. Um, I think if there's going to be a comeback since this gold lead has been widening slowly over the course of the game, then it's going to be an Oriana on either Oriana's ult coming with either Lee Sin or Shyvana
Yeah.
into catching two or three people. But the
We
problem
st-
is that
we still
it's
haven't
just
even seen a team fight yet, so
yeah, and I'm not sure if we're going to because they're just so slippery. I think that Masters began to get the right idea. Caitlyn and Zyra, if you're looking to pick people out, is the lane to go for. They aren't as slippery as like Nidalee or Aatrox who can jump walls. Caitlyn can jump one wall, but she's naturally squishy, and Zyra's still kind of gonna left to die. And there's two of them to catch as opposed to one.
hmm. Well, if we were to say, for argument's sake, this game was to end and Waterloo was just to close it out in the next couple of minutes, what do you think would change next game? Or you think maybe there'd be a Nidalee ban or maybe a first pick Nidalee from the other team. Do you think Nidalee is the problem this game, or is it just the way that it just like team play completely
To be
won
honest,
without picks?
well, Nidalee is pretty highlighted here. I think it's just a victory of the comp. I think that Waterloo's hybrid team, they're playing their comp better. The lane matchups haven't been going. The first two kills for McMaster in the enemy jungle, that hasn't they haven't been able to make that work too well.
Yeah,
Shyvana's
definitely.
red potion dropped off and she couldn't keep the lane advantage. But I think Nidalee, well, she's sort of the highlight reel of this with some of the best spears and escapes.
Yeah,
I think if you look at it, all of their team is doing pretty well. So I don't think it's all in the Nidalee pick.
yeah. It's really hard to deal with a poke comp when it gets ahead, even without like I
Yeah,
mean they're all such strong early game champions, anyways. I think
I'm
if it
curious if we're going to be seeing that Sivir first pick next game. But oh, we've got dive
really
going
bad.
down here, but Aatrox is just going to get out of there. They're going to be dropping the tower pretty soon, but oh, they're so indecisive. Sivir, make up your mind.
Wow,
Everybody
nice
make up your
damage.
mind. Aatrox not even popping the Bloodwell, and everybody's on the run. And now we have Nidalee going in for the kill mid, but Shyvana's going to come down here. Nidalee's going to go down with Orianna. And in the bottom lane, what do we have here? Annie's going to go down to Aatrox. We have double battles going on. Fights left and right. And
All over the
meanwhile,
place.
Renekton, Shyvana's gone down a mid, and Renekton is doing what this comp does. He's taking that second tower. He's following, he's just going to keep farming, to keep taking towers, keep split pushing, just as the comp demands.
Another huge gold spike. They're gonna pick up this tower and then probably rotate into a dragon for free. That's a huge gold lead.
Yeah. Although we have Shyvana pushing at mid, I think Renekton going missing now means that Shyvana has to get out of there, and Shyvana seems to know that. Get another shirt going down there. And yeah, it doesn't look like McMaster's in any place to actually contest the dragon. They're kind of scattered, and I think if they try, they might get caught out, and it might end badly for them. And oh, we have Shyvana cut out running. Is he going to turn on the Aatrox? And no, the stuns. The crowd control is too strong. And we have Caitlyn driving off of Lee Sin. What has this game come to? And Lee
Lethan
Sin's
just doesn't
running
have
from a
enough
solo
damage.
Caitlyn.
Oh, big Oriole. That was really nice.
The Oriole, yo, and with the extra W, Caitlyn goes down, but Oriana's going to pay for that. Support Annie going in, but not getting the stun. And it's looking like Purple's positioning is just not good enough here.
Here comes the Nidalee cleanup, maybe. Some crazy spears again.
Now we'll see. It's looking like blue team's going to. And that's what I meant. I think Purple team's positioning is scattered enough that contesting that dragon is just too costly for them.
Yeah, for sure. Oriana's getting pretty strong though, and that was a really nice Oriole. Hit both of the squishies there. I think if
Yeah, and it
anything,
defeats a Caitlyn's death.
I think if anything is going to turn it around, like we've been saying, it's that Oriole. So this game's on your shoulders. Come on, Dusek.
Yeah, we're going to Duosec. We're going to need to see that ball stuck with Lord of the Pit. Is this Khalifa? I don't know. But the game's just getting them because as like Renekton and Aatrox gets so strong, it gets really hard for them to actually win team fights.
Yeah,
This Aatrox in all the fights they've had, he's just been a beast.
yeah, for
And
sure.
Aatrox is just building tank here. He's got two Doran's blades, but he's got mobility boots, and then Spirit of the Ancient Golem, and Locket of the Iron Solari, and a cloth armor.
Yeah,
Certainly not what you expect to see.
the difference between the pressure that Lee Sin can create as opposed to Aatrox is just a complete
Yeah.
opposite ends of the spectrum.
And
Top
we're going
lane,
to see an attempted catch out here. Might just go down here. The red buff is slowing him, and Annie with the tippers.
here comes Waterloo though.
Getting a hit, and here we have this just tanky beast Aatrox. His base damage so high from his levels. This Aatrox is just using his lead to be pretty much unkillable. And oh, nobody's going to block the ult. Lee Sin is going to try and go in, and Oriana's going to miss the ult. We have whiffs left and right here, but Oriana's going to go down. Lee Sin is going to go down, and that's just going to be Waterloo coming out ahead once again.
Sivir down bottom though, creating some towers. We'll see if that makes any difference. But an outer tower for a Baron, I don't know. I don't think
Tower,
that's
that'll
worth.
balance out with a top tower going in here. And unless Annie's got one hell of a steal up her sleeve, no, she's just going to get caught out. That was warded. Little did Annie know. And Renekton's already gone back to try and deal with Sivir. Now this Baron actually is going to do a lot of damage to them. And oh my goodness, the Locket going down. I was worried we'd see an execute there. Baron getting a kill. But no, Baron's going to go down and Sivir's going to have to back because Renekton's on his way. And I don't think that Sivir is at that point in the game where she could 1v1 a Renekton.
Yeah, definitely not. Let's see what these guys are going to pick up. Item-wise, 716 Aatrox. Jeez. That guy's a monster.
Yeah. Aatrox just going to the Warden's Mail. He just wants to use his Q. He wants to use his Q to initiate and provide a lot of CC and just stay in the enemy team. If they focus him, he can just swap between Ws to either do enough base damage with his level advantage that he's relevant, or just to sustain himself if people are going on him. But Aatrox is he's being an insurmountable wall here. And it's very different than all of the Blade of the Ruined King Aatroxes that we often see trying to go for some mix and not turning out so well when the team is behind.
Yeah. I don't even know if we're going to see the
And
Pocomp
his team's
against
quite
this.
ahead.
I don't even know if we're going to see the Pocomp this game. Nidalee's going to get the blue, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's just one spear into a dive. That Baron
Yeah.
that early is just too much.
Yeah, with both Aatrox and Renekton. I'm surprised that Aatrox is building tanking in this team comp, but you gotta give him credit. It's worked out.
Yeah, definitely.
Between Aatrox and Renekton, they can just go in when they want, and they're actually proving to have the stronger team fight with this lead. And I'm wondering if this was actually just part of their plan at the start, whether it was sort of a fake out poke comp,
Here comes the
just
fight.
with just Niddle. Oh God, we have the whole initiate. Aatrox going down, but healing a bunch from the Bloodwell.
The spear.
Mariana going down to another just dead shot spear. Sivir goes down.
Yeah, that's pretty much game, I would think. 10k gold lead at 22 minutes. That's
Goldblade inhibitor turret going down. Yeah, I don't think that. And defending against AP in Italy, I don't think this is going anywhere good.
yep. Hard to come back from that. On to the inhibitor towers, or Nexus towers, sorry.
Yeah, and I think this game is looking to just be closed out.
That's it.
Sivir and Oriana up now. Sivir up in a few seconds, but it's not going to do it.
Docta MVP, man. That guy's a beast.
Yep.
GG.
Doctor
Okay.
sitting in Diamond Fun.
So we're going to take a little bit of a break while we get into game number 2. I'll put on the music again, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We'll see you soon.
Track ID.
Round is lava. LA07, let's make some noise. To all the viewers locked in online, to all of y'all out there, we did it. Friends of Friends, Boiler Room at 07.
Respect.
Okay, and we're back.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Hopefully, we aren't going to be sitting on a 6-minute pause this time. And the Elise ban again. Aatrox banned this time. So clearly, they were pretty impressed with the Aatrox play last game. Doctor MVP.
Yeah, I'd say so for sure. Crazy play by
Riven-
Waterloo. They did everything right that game, I think.
Yeah. Caitlyn got caught a few times, so that was about it. Renekton, he switched up his build, but it worked perfectly. Aatrox going the full tank route, which I don't think I certainly didn't expect, but I'd be surprised if anybody saw that coming, given full tank Aatrox well. But that turned out well. And we're seeing an Italy ban. No, the target bans are coming out just based on the last game.
Yeah, that's definitely a
Seeing-
respect band for sure.
Seeing Riven, Kale, and Kasten. So Riven and Kale are probably targeted bans
Yeah.
if we're going to be seeing the bans again instead of anything played last game. But Cassidy, meaning Vayne, was just a normal ban. Kasten coming out as a ban now. Vayne, the first pick. Maybe Vayne was not a standard ban, but just a target ban. So we have the first pick Vayne going down. We have Jinx coming in.
I like that.
Jinx and Vi. Now they're going to have her over the picks for a bit again.
Vayne is just such a strong pick. But I think Jinx's W, doesn't that give True Sight as well? I'm not 100% sure. I think it does.
I don't know if it does. I know it reveals in the bushes, but I haven't actually been in that scenario before.
Yeah, I'm not a very big AD player. The only thing I play is Vayne, that's just because I love dueling people. I'm like an assassin kind of guy, and once I get Vayne, it's just like I'm playing 1v5. Okay, let's see. Mid lane. I think we'd probably expect to see a Gragas this game because Gragas is just so common. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Morgana either, though. Morgana, since her change, has been really strong, and that coupled with a Vayne, especially against the Vi, it would completely counteract her ulti. So I think that'd be a really strong pick here, but it's up to see if they actually play that or not.
Yeah, the Vi ults are always Vi also always has a pretty strong level 6 just because the ult is so hard to go wrong with and it's so inevitable. Now we're going to be seeing Josek hovering over an Orianna again, same as last game, and Orianna was probably one of the more valuable members of the team last game, so I can't really fault him for that.
Yeah, definitely. Same kind of thing too, where it's like a supporty mid for the Vayne. That's kind of anytime you see a Vayne, it's generally followed with it's like the hyper carry you kind of wanted once you get to the late game. Like it doesn't matter how Vayne does in lane, it's just all about making sure she doesn't die because she'll out DPS pretty much any other AD carry.
Yeah, now I'm not entirely sure how wise this is to put everything in Vayne, just because
Rammus.
last game,
That's
we have a Rammus
awesome.
pick coming down.
I love Rammus, man. That's really cool.
Well, Rammus is pretty good. It's, if nothing else, his PL is pretty amazing, but his ganks are good. So Rammus can apply a lot of mana. His Powerball and Taunt combo comes before 6, so I think he can apply a good deal of pressure before Vi, although not entirely. Vi's Q is still pretty hard to escape from. Now we're
Here's
going
the
to be seeing the
Gragas.
Gragas, because this is looking like this is not looking like a repeat of the poke comp. I guess without Nidalee, they don't really want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But by they're shifting their meta in the middle of the last game. I can't say that they seem all that insufficient when it comes to team fights either.
It looks almost like a kite comp coming from them. Like a kite disengage comp, you know? With the Zyra and the Gragas.
Yeah, I can. I wouldn't say it's quite just disengaged, but I feel like well, one team is playing Protect the Vein. What this whole thing with the Gragas ultimate, the Zyra root, the Vi ultimate, it might be coming down. They might be playing a Catch the Vein team comp.
That's true.
So it might come down to a lot of positioning and ultimates when the team fights hit. Although I'm also interested just to see how the bottom lane matchup goes, or how Jinx does in lane, just because Jinx is still relatively new, very complicated champion compared to a lot of the other ADCs, so it's always hard to tell how the Jinx is going to do. Her damage is potentially crazy, but
Yeah.
always hard to
She's
tell.
still a new champion too, right? You're not gonna see someone who's as good at Jinx as somebody like, Fabi or Doublelift or whatever on Vayne.
Yeah.
It's just not possible. Something you got to keep in mind. I'm interested to see what the last pick is coming out of Waterloo.
Yep, and last pick here, we're going to see a Jarvan.
Jarvan Sona. I like it. That's a really nice comp. Good lockup.
It's it's a pretty solid AoE comp with
Mhm.
Protect the Vein, so I think that's going to work out pretty well.
Jace
Now,
would be an interesting pick here because it's pretty much another carry, and that's into a Rammus.
yeah, I'm not entirely sure about the Jace pick. I mean, he has some disengage in his E, and his poke is pretty spectacular, but he doesn't seem to fit incredibly well into this team comp.
It would fit the idea of the kite comp, though. Like the kite comp with
Hmm.
maybe Gragas and Jace poke, and also Jinx has poke too. That makes more sense, though, the Trundle. Because that's also kite. I'm not sure, though. We'll see. Because a lot of people, they used to run poke comps with Gragas, right? Like, even though he's such a good utility all-around mage,
Yeah, no,
still a
Gragas is
possibility.
perfectly viable, but it's more the Vi I question,
Yeah, fair enough.
and
They should have got the Rammus.
no, we're going to be seeing Shyvana come out now. Not Jace. So this is interesting. I'm not. It looks like actually they're trying to we have a sort of team scattering comp from Waterloo here,
Mhm.
just because you have the Gragas ultimate, you have Shyvana, which only knocks them in one direction. You have the Zyra ultimate, which is the wide area, but it knocks them up if they don't get out of it. Decide to get to one person. It seems like they're sort of like their whole plan is to separate a squishy or just get their team scattered and kill people before it can all come together. So if you ask me, I think a lot of it is actually going to come down to the Jinx, just because Jinx is so high damage. It's going to be the Gragas person, then a lot of the damage is going to be on Jinx.
I would have liked to see the Trundle because Trundle's one of those classic counter picks to Rammus where you can bite him and it like shreds his armor, even with
Yep.
the W up. That would
You
have been
just wait
cool.
till he puts his shell up, and if nothing else, then you get a ton of free resists.
Yeah, exactly. Trundle, I'm
Think
kind of
any lane
surprised.
swaps? Because last time there weren't any.
This game, no, well, I think that McMaster is going to want to do a lane swap, obviously because they have the Vayne, but I don't know if they will let them. I think they'll try and follow them. I think they'll probably send their 2v2 top. Um, but I was gonna say Trundle, like he got reworked, right? And I was always kind of waiting to see him make his emergence back into the scene. I've always been a big Trundle fan. I'm a troll myself, so
I'm sorry
Trundle,
that this is their
Rammus,
pick.
all those old school junglers, man. Warwick, one day.
Trundle's always been sort of a classic, but you don't see him too much in games. I guess I'm not entirely sure what it is about him. He's always seemed relatively solid, but there's just nothing that's been quite outstanding enough to see him in play. So then again, I mean,
Yeah,
I guess you could say Trundle is a troll pick.
I think Jat was the last one to play him competitively, and that was a while ago. That was like season 1, season 2. No, that was season 2. Yep.
Yeah, we haven't seen
No.
Trundle around in competitive.
You're cutting out a little bit, dude. Do you think you could rejoin the Skype call?
Sure.
Yeah. Hopefully that's a bit better.
Sorry about that. Is this any better?
I think so.
All right.
I gotta work on my puns, man. I'm not quite freak level yet.
Well, it's pretty hard to be freak level.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were out of nowhere, that'd be freaky.
Okay, I'm gonna change the overlay.
Me now.
So pardon me, guys. You're gonna see a black screen for a minute. There we go. Okay, I'm ready to get into this game. Hopefully there's no pauses this time.
Well, hopefully there's enough internet stability, and I think you can. Hopefully, you're only going to get banned from TeamSpeak once. So,
Yeah. Well, that's Canada for you, right? Third world internet.
yeah. But well, who knows? Maybe they'll come up. I don't know if somebody on Twitch can just start a betting pool for how long it takes until there's actually just a pause in the early game.
Oh, we actually didn't even talk about the Jarvan. He's top lane. I didn't even think about that.
Oh my god! Of course. No, I totally missed that as well. I'm sorry. Yeah, the top lane Jarvan is going to be interesting just because in top lane you do get more gold than the jungle, so it opens up a number of different build paths.
hmm I think it was Link who was playing Jarvan in solo queue a lot, and he got Nien to do it, and their build was, I think it was like the Hydra Rush, and it was just doing so much damage with the Shred, and it was insane. He was like bursting as hard as a
Chibble.
mid player. It was crazy.
Yeah, I've seen in solo queue. I think it was a while ago. Toys played a few games as Jarvan mid to pretty great effect. His EQ combo, the base damage on it is pretty high with the shred and some AD.
hmm
Jarvan's early game damage is really high. People just tend to build some more tanky because you usually see him in the jungle where he doesn't have the income or the early game fight for that.
Yeah.
And once he gets late game, you need at least a couple tank items because otherwise you're going to ult in, you're going to get your cataclysm, and you're going to die, and it's just not very useful.
He's also probably pretty good in the 2v or the 1v2 because he's got that long range wave clear and everything. So I wouldn't be surprised if they try.
Yeah,
and
he
go
has
for the
long range
1v2.
wave clear. And the other thing is that Jarvan top just has a lot of kill potential, especially with a high crowd control gank and high speed, just like Rammus.
Yep.
So if it's a 2v1 or even if it's a 1v1, if anybody gets too cocky, there's just a lot of kill potential wherever Jarvan is.
Interesting. We'll see what happens for sure. I'm really excited to see this Rammus pick. Shout out to Cloud Templar, the original Rammus. Since we're talking about that.
Man. Yep.
Speaking of which, tonight is OGN. Starts in, I think it's like, oh my god, another pause. Please, please, don't troll me.
0-0 -1. Yep. Yes, the real got. Wow.
Okay, here we go.
We have the disrespect pause, just pausing to see if they can. Why not? Alright, so looking at the starting items, we're going to see just full consumables from both Sona and Zyra. Interestingly, we aren't going to see any more aggressive jungling this time by items. Vi and Rammus are both just starting machete and potions. Pretty standard and less immediately kill oriented. Shyvana is just going with the Dorn's Shield. Jarvan is going with the red potion.
He loves those red pots.
Yeah, he goes in. Shyvana is going in Jarvan, but I think Jarvan's not a bad pick for a red potion just because he has got such long range initiate that it just helps his kill potential. He can go for a pretty convincing all in.
Yeah, definitely. He's all about
Now we're
that
seeing
cheese.
we're seeing a lot of pings go down in the jungle. And I'm not sure if we're going to actually be seeing a fight or if we're just going to be poking. Last game there was a pretty strong fight, but
I want to see another fight. That was awesome.
yeah, level 1 fight. You usually don't see level 1 fight. You usually see things that are pretty close to level 1 fights, but you don't usually see an all-out brawl just like there was last game. But
The thing that's funny though is that, hold on. Yeah, the thing that's funny is that they went 2-0 in that. Here we go.
Yep, but we're gonna see Waterloo wing in, and this time it looks
my
like they're gonna
God.
be. Yeah, once again, Waterloo just doesn't have the best of luck with these level 1s.
First blood to Vayne. That's brutal.
Oh, wow. Yep, Vayne gets it. Assist spread around the team. And it's just completely for free.
Does force Rammus to start taunt though, so he'll need
Yeah.
a good leash. But
Need more help in jungle.
I wanted to
No
say
summoners blown in that.
the last game, McMaster actually led with 2 kills at level 1, and they still weren't able to take advantage of that. Looks like we're getting the
Yeah.
2v2 actually, which is quite interesting. We'll see how that goes. Even like Vayne got the first blood, so we'll see if it makes a difference. But and Ram is starting red, obviously, for the better leash.
Yeah. I think part of the problem with last game was that the matchups just weren't so great. So the lead, you saw it play out with some bullying, but it just sort of evened out. It didn't go anywhere because it's pretty hard to snowball against like Caitlyn Zyra when you're Sivir Annie.
There was a really nice
Unless Annie
play.
gets a great stone.
There was a really nice play by Shyvana top there. She checked the blue buff to see where Rammus was starting, so they do know that he's starting red. And that's great information for mid and top lane, so they'll know when and where to expect
Shyvana could go more aggressive, but then again, Jarvan's the one starting with the red potion in the board, so I don't know how aggressive Shyvana wants to be, but I think we're going to see Shyvana trying to keep that burnout pushing going because if Jarvan hits level 2 first, then that's just extremely dangerous. And we're going to see the even level 2s. Is Shyvana actually going for the fight? No, she's going to back out. So top lane is just going to be a trade fest. And Vayne lands the condemn, but it's not going anywhere. So bot lane, we have Jinx just in a level lead, but no telling quite where this is going yet. Vayne has the first blood.
Yeah, I'm interested. I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm not the greatest AD carry player, but I think maybe it would have been wise just to get a couple pots instead of the sword, just because
Yeah, Vayne.
the way that the lane's gonna play out is that they're just gonna get harassed for days, right? And like Sona's gonna go I don't know. I just think maybe pots would have been a good idea too. But if they're gonna fight like this, the longsword's definitely gonna help. Wow, the flash.
The coordination with Rammus, the taunt, that's going to be pretty up the kill again, and Zyra passive missing. That's pretty big. Vayne is getting fed, and fed Vayne creates nightmares. Fed Vayne is just the last thing you want to see.
So that's
On the other hand, though,
that's definitely the reason that they took longsword, because they didn't want to play passive. They want to get that Vayne fed. They want to get those kills.
yep. And we saw that coincide with Rammus. There's definitely communication going on there. But meanwhile, we have top lane pretty much going down to Shyvana Vi. Both pretty good at pushing, and they're just trying to apply pressure to the opposite ends of the map.
Pretty much the exact same thing that happened last game. Getting that early tower down
Now,
top
it's
lane.
interesting.
I wish I missed that. I didn't see exactly how they got to the point where they could do that to the tower. Was it just a gank that forced the Jarvan back?
Yeah, it was just a gank, and I think Jarvan just didn't quite have the health, and they pushed it down really quickly.
Yeah.
But now Jarvan's a level behind, and he doesn't have the tower for safety, so that's going to be pretty big for the top lane matchup.
However,
It's going to be just...
since they did push it out like that, it gives him the opportunity to freeze. And with a Rammus ganking the Shyvana, it puts her in a pretty scary situation. I think it might have been a better idea to maybe not push the wave that hard and just let it kind of stagnate up in around the bush up there, because this could go either way. If they don't take advantage of it, if they don't group or push or something like that off of it, if they don't go for dragon, maybe some other objective, it could just put Shyvana behind and let the Jarvan just farm up for days.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good point, especially if you consider when his red potion is going to be going off. It's going to allow him to actually farm pretty safely, just around the time that he needs when Shyvana would have the advantage. Another pulse going down. It seems these teams love their pulses. Just gotta take a break, relax, let the game just wait a little. No stress, no pressure, no problem, guys.
I'm gonna go make a sandwich.
Sounds valid to me, because if the last game is anything to take pattern from, pause is probably going to be 6 minutes. But we don't have any explanation. I don't know. Maybe they got banned. Maybe somebody just got banned from League mid-game. No. Wow. We have a disconnect. And no explanation on that either. Just the pause.
Yep, that Canadian internet. Next level. So again, I guess we'll take a look at the gold. See how that tower affected things.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's notable in that although Vayne got the kill, there's no dead tower at bottom, so I don't know. We might want to be seeing a dragon play pretty soon, also because Vayne has the silver bolts in the lead, and we're seeing the reconnect from Deus Ex. So,
I figured out what the issue was with the sound. I was an idiot. I'm sorry,
and
guys. Should be good now. Better late than never.
certainly better late than never.
My apologies. I'm new to this. My bad.
Oh, we all got to start somewhere.
Yep.
And now, well, we're seeing Duo back in game, but no resume. So I don't really know what's going on here. It's just unspecified technical difficulties, but they're asking already. So I think we're going to be starting pretty soon. Well, resuming.
Here we go. Ping's going down bot lane. Looks like they want to get a gank down there.
And that certainly makes sense. Vayne's pretty ahead, but bot's just pretty volatile. We see there's a pink in the try, there's a pink by Dragon. Vision controlling ganks. Just bot lane is basically becoming the center of this game because
Big dog.
McMaster has
Down
made
right
it
away.
all about the Vayne. He's coming down right away. We have Sona it's just a quiet disengage, in fact. Almost going somewhere, but we have Shyvana just waiting just by the pink at Dragon Pit. I don't know what she's planning to do there.
She just can't go top lane, I don't think. Looks like, yeah, they're gonna want to force that dragon for sure. See, that's a really
Yep.
smart play by them. It could have gone so bad if she was forced to stay top. She could have just been snowballed into the ground, but this is a very smart play by them. Much
Yep,
too
they're
smart.
forced to Dragon. Vegas is there. There's gonna be no steal. There's no real contesting for that. And they just had a stronger presence there because Jarvan's still top. But that's pretty good because Jarvan was pushed in. He had frozen the lane, so that's about what they needed to do. And Greg is just throwing out an ult, probably trying to get Oriana knocked into him, and then
Yeah, Oriana's just such a good laner pre-6, especially against people like Gragas who are melee and have that trouble farming early.
yeah,
Such a
Oriana's
good,
passive
safe, all-around
provides
player.
a lot
Rare
of
to
damage.
pick. Yeah, definitely.
And oh, we have Sona getting caught by the roots here, and we're gonna have Vi just going all the way in, going in. Sona isn't gonna get hit by the Jinx slow, but we're gonna see the Vi ult come down to secure the kill. And oh, the wall of traps is gonna force the flash from Vayne. And now we have Gragas getting caught up at mid, just uneventfully, just dying to Rammus auto attacks.
Wow.
Ouch.
Big plays.
From Jinx drops Vayne. And suddenly this game is not looking nearly so great for McMaster as it was.
Yeah, Waterloo's objective control is just really, really nice to see. Very impressed, honestly. The things that they're pulling out there, all of their decisions just make so much sense. Everything from getting that early top tower to like just ending laning phase right away, abusing their early game picks, using their utility.
Yeah, every major thing that happens around Waterloo has just screams massive coordination.
Yeah.
The timing of their ganks, when they do something, they do it as a group, whether it's the group covering and somebody doing hidden side objectives, split pushing, or whether it's just solid team fights and not everybody arriving at the right time.
And it's not even to say that McMaster's playing poorly. Like, all of their lane matchups are going even pretty much. It's just very, very smart play from Waterloo.
Yeah, when it comes down to it, Waterloo is just that bit more coordinated. They're coming together a bit sooner, and that's giving them the edge in things like Dragon or one more tower.
Yeah, those are the kind of things that separate the good teams from the really good teams. Just that knowledge of what you should do at all times. It doesn't matter what changes in the game, and if they have this strategy and they're executing it every time, there's next to no way they can make any mistakes.
Yep, and yeah, the Waterloo team knows the game pretty well. Now, The top lane matchup, I don't know. I'm not entirely sure about Jarvan here. It looks like Jarvan's aiming like more for the late game because he's mostly taking free farm and letting Shyvana leave. But Shyvana not quite leaving, just going for the ward. And oh, with the we're going to see Jarvan go down to Shyvana at this rate. But no, she has no slow. I think he might get away. It's hard to say, but no, he gets the tower and he's going to go back.
Bottom lane.
Oh, wow, action out of right at bottom lane, and Vi is just not in the right place at the right time. Zyra's gonna go down to Vayne, just that one last auto, and Jinx is gonna get out pretty safely, stay near tower, but still, that is a kill for McMaster, and can't fault that.
Looks like Jinx is going for a IE. Also pretty interesting. I was under the impression that Ayaj first was, or BT first was the way to go since she scales so hard. She's again like Graves, another one of those casters. Oh, Orianna ulti down mid.
The Orianna ult, that's the Orianna ult taking down all the minions that they were relying on to tank instantly. We're gonna see the Gragas ult, but it's not somebody out of the Jarvan ult, but this team fight's not looking so great, although Jarvan pretty big, Vi on the run. Shyvana only on the side. Jarvan flashing after it, he might be overextending here, but no, it looks like he's tanky enough. He's just gonna survive, go all the way in on Vi, and I don't see Vi escaping from this one. Jarvan's just too sticky. And well, and now we're actually going to be having McMaster pulling ahead in this team fight. Shyvana not able to do too much. And now we're just going to go back, still in the laning phase, but
yeah, McMaster is
here,
pulling
so
ahead.
I don't think
they're pulling ahead in kills, which is phenomenal. Because if anything is going to win this game, it's going to be the Vayne. And she's very strong right now, so we'll see what they can do.
Yeah, I also want to see the sort of levels of dive for and how many ults they'll use to get Vayne, just because there is a lot of pick and just diving potential between Jarvan and Vi, and to some extent Gragas's sort of counter peel. Not to mention Shyvana with the ultimate, so I think this game is going to be very telling of a player or an amazing player.
Yep, for sure. We'll see if he's got the doubleless mechanics.
But the other thing we also know is that Vayne was banned against him last game, so he's got to have a pretty decent record on Vayne, so
I would think so.
Now it's worth noting, just by CS and objective control, that Waterloo is still 1,000 gold ahead despite being 3 kills behind.
I think that Waterloo is aware that the Vayne is going to be the issue in this game, and I think that's why they're not grouping. They're going to force this dragon, but they've been basically just pushing their lanes the entire game, holding that lane phase. And I think what they want to do is just not ever get the chance for Vayne to get out of control. You know what I mean? If they can just keep holding down the entire game, then
yeah,
it could
most
be
of the action hasn't been centered on bot lane, but the thing is, that's not so set in stone, because we're seeing a lot of counter ganks from Rammus. Bot lane is not closed out. It's still pretty up in the air, and we're going to see Water laning for the dragon with Jarvan showing himself to be top. And I think Jarvan needs to hurry up and get that Trinity Force and get out of top lane. We have a fight going in, Orianna ultimate grouping people up, but it's not going to do enough. There's just not enough damage behind. Be a secure dragon and a kill for Waterloo. And I think Jarvan, he needs to complete that Trinity Force and get out of top lane pretty soon, because these 4v5s are just winning Waterloo the game, slowly but surely, and Jarvan hasn't been able to do enough on his own top. He's got one tower, but Shyvana's coming back, and he's not going to get the inner.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Rammus going in like that was the best idea. I think it was a little bit risky. I don't know if maybe they're playing a little bit on tilt. I'm sure they don't want to let them get any more objectives, and I don't know. I'm not sure if that was the best play. Hopefully he doesn't let his emotions get the best of him.
Well, Vi, Blade the Ruined King, but Sona just flashes in and misses the ult to a flash. And who's gonna win, come out on top? No, I think Vayne's got the duel with the exhaust coming out from Sona. And Vayne is gonna pick up the kill, but Vi is right there. Is Vi going to try and ult? Is Vi going to try? Vi is going to drop the ult, and she's going to try and close this out, but Vayne dropping the barriers. Sona's still there. I don't... Oh no, we have Gragas joining the fight. In with a flash ult, throwing Vayne back into the worst of situations, and now Sona not going to get dived, taking a bit of damage from that parting barrel, but Vayne goes down, and that is huge.
Yeah, definitely. There's not much you can do as Jinx in that situation. A 4-in-1 or a 3-in-1 Vayne with Bork at 14 minutes. Good luck. There's no way you're gonna win that, especially when it was the 1v2 like that. But good turnaround. They got at least one kill out of it.
Yeah, Jinx got a little cocky there just because Vayne was lower in health initially, but Vayne knew Bork knew Sona coming. Yeah, the summoner, so that was pretty well played by Vayne. Red ahead just a little farther, and oh, the Orianna ult, displacing Gragas but not anyone else. And Orianna's dangerously low here, but she's gonna survive. They're not going for her, and Zyra taking immense damage from tower, barely surviving. Face checks, just dashes right into Jarvan. Now we have our tune on the run from Pooh, but are we going to see... Oh, we're going to see Rammus coming in here. That power ball is just too fast, and Shyvana's not going to be making it out of here. And Vayne getting the kill, and that was like... Rammus could have taunted much sooner, but you can see they're going through pretty great lengths to make sure that Vayne gets all the kills that she can be given. So, this game is very just much about Vayne. We get Vayne fed.
Okay, there we go. Colorblind mode is on now. Sorry, guys. Okay. So, Shyvana with her Sunfire Cape. Do you think that's going to be able to handle the Jarvan? The 3-0 Jarvan working on his Triforce?
It depends when he gets his Triforce. I think he'll be able to still win fights with the Triforce, but it's pretty iffy. Shyvana has never been a bad duelist. Sunfire Cape is just pretty good since it's all armor, and that's what Jarvan does, but I think with Trinity, Jarvan still has the edge, if only because he's very good in...
That was a flash down from Jarvan.
No. Just so that I'm just... Okay. Oh, are we going to have Vayne getting caught out by Shyvana here? Or no. She's going to be getting some damage in Shyvana, but Sona coming up, and Shyvana doesn't want to go in on that. Too far from the team.
Okay, so what do you think these teams are going to be doing now? Because there's nothing really happening right now. It's just a whole bunch of people wandering around and farming.
Yeah, I think they're mostly all just a bit off where they want to be in their builds. Jinx is sitting on BF so Trinity, and I'm thinking that we're going to be seeing McMaster aiming for the team fights a little sooner than Waterloo, just because we see Vi not quite complete on the locket and Jinx not quite complete with just all the base AD items.
Yeah. Yeah, this Vayne's super strong. I think they probably just want to get a fight right now and just end it if they can.
Yeah,
if they
and
get one good fight and they get the Vayne a couple kills, then I think that's pretty much. Oh, here comes the engage. Nope.
Yeah, no, Rammus is just gonna he's gonna be rolling back and forth.
Jinx was waiting at base for her edge. She just picked it up now.
Like this, because it doesn't seem like a great team.
Sorry?
I'm just surprised that we see Waterloo just sitting around mid here like they're waiting for a team fight.
Yeah.
Because I think they're more confident about it than I am, especially with 4 people. It seems, but Rammus is top now, so I guess just it's sort of a 4v4. And it seems like with Gragas and Jinx, they have that the poke is slightly better for Waterloo, so I think they can siege reasonably, but it's still kind of dangerous.
Yeah, we'll have to see how the Orianna Wombo combo goes down with Jarvan, because I think that's going to be a huge factor. Oh! The ult comes down. Almost taking out Sona.
Yeah, Sona's in a... Oh, we have the Rammus initiate. Ramus dropping the ultimate, and we have Zyra going down, but oh my god, we have Shyvana trying to ult Vayne into the play. Doctor immediately ulted Vayne, but no, Vayne is going to survive by a bit, and that is just, I think that's going to be taking this game. You have Jinx going and trying to kill Orianna, but just falling a bit short. And Shyvana finishing the job, but Vayne... Vayne, what are you doing?
Oh, wow.
Oh, Vayne standing in the flame trail. Shyvana pulling a singed. That's a big misplay, because that could almost have been a convincingly won team fight, but without Vayne, they don't have that same push potential. Vayne getting a little too greedy, and that's going to keep this game still pretty even.
That's what I was talking about, though. Getting the Vayne another 3 kills is huge. She's a monster right now. She has 7,200 gold compared to the Jinx's 67. So, I don't know, man. We'll see. That was a nice Orianna ult. She had to hold it for most of that fight because she got locked up by the Jinx E, I think it is. And then again, she held it for a long time, but it worked out very well. Reset the fight nicely.
Yeah. I think we need to see Waterloo looking to do more of the initiating than Ramus, because when they get caught out like that, it lets Vayne position ideally. And we saw like the Gragas ult and the Vi ult all go down, targeted at Vayne, but it didn't quite do enough when Vayne was able to stay where she wanted, and Vayne survived by a bit. So I think themselves to try and set the terms, because when Ramus gets to just ambush them, it's just too much. Vayne is just gonna do too much damage, and even if they get Vayne, that's going to be everything.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the way that they played it was, that's why I was so impressed with the Orianna ult, was because it separated the fight, and it allowed the Vayne to kind of just duel 3 people individually instead of it being a real team fight for her. And that's where Vayne excels.
Yeah.
So.
But that's also, I think, that Waterloo has to be looking to do the engages, because Ramus with the... just so easy for them to get grouped up in a way that's optimal for McMasters and not optimal for the dive of their comp.
Yeah. So, Vayne's got her Zeal looking like she's gonna go pick up the static shiv. Oh, thought Jarvan was gonna engage there. Jarvan's top lane still. This could be something.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't think I'd be surprised if Waterloo is bold enough to attempt to die, but I think Jarvan's just gonna make it here. That too much event. A lot of poke going on. And flying around, and Ramus hitting the Powerball. Ramus starting to engage. Doctor just getting taunted, but is he gonna be able to ult the Vayne? No, Vayne's just at the back doing all the damage, and this is exactly what Waterloo does not want to happen. Vayne getting taken down, but not before dropping Shyvana. But wow, we're seeing this team fight turn around. Vayne just a little too far in the back after all, not getting quite enough damage to turn it around. But Orianna taking out Jinx. We're just seeing near all kills here.
That was an incredibly even fight. That Jinx passive was just unreal. Let her clean up so hard. So, wow. What do you think about that fight?
Now that fight was pretty interesting. I think Vayne was a little too far back and just a little too safe, because they managed to kill Shyvana, but then died after that because she hadn't been able to chip off any health off anybody else. And now we're seeing them duel at mid. Gragas versus Orianna. Oh my god, they're just both going to take each other out. These fights are just all 1-for-1, dead even. This game is far from over.
That was glorious. That was a real man fight right there.
Yeah, they just went all in and 1-for-1.
They both picked up their death cap now. So both of those mids are doing a lot of damage. 23 minutes in with an Athene Zed at death cap for each of them. So I think both teams have the potential to wombo really hard. And now the Jinx is so strong. I don't know, we gotta see how this goes. This is a very even game. Only a 1k gold difference.
Yeah, and once again, it's still going to the 1k gold lead still goes to Waterloo, who is... Now, that's a good route by Zyra, but I think we still have it. Rammus looking to engage, but we haven't seen Waterloo try an engagement of their own yet. It's always been Rammus going in with the Powerball, and Rammus has a lot of speed, but like they really need to stop letting him do that because it lets them set up their positioning so well, and the positioning with a fed Vayne is so vital.
Yeah, absolutely. So she picks up her static shiv. I assume the next pickup will probably be a Last Whisper to deal with that Shyvana, and the Vi is also with backing armor.
I think that's going to mark a turning point, but I think this is really when Waterloo needs to engage because Vayne's damage isn't going to be completely out of control because there's the Warden's Mail, the Randuin's, the Sunfire, the Tabby. There's just a lot of tankiness out right now, and Vayne isn't going to shred it, but once she gets that Last Whisper, Vayne with that Last Whisper and Blade of the Rune King is just going to shred the tanks. And wow, we have an engage under tower! McMaster's going in deep, Doctor flashing over, but are they gonna chase him? No, Ram is just too much of a tank. Jarvan being bold as ever, and he's just hard to kill.
Oh, the dodge! That was a really nice dodge on the E.
Greg is landing the Jarvan kill, but only dying to die to a taunt right after. By landing the back, but in fact, McMaster's coming out ahead in that under tower. A really bold engage, but it's paying off. 2 for 2, but Jinx has the back, Vi has the back, and Vayne is just getting free reign here.
Shyvana picked up the tower there. That was pretty nice. Looks like she's trying to come across and pick something up as well.
True. That was a 5 for 4 engage. Still pretty bold under tower, but let's see if Shyvana can pick anything up from this. But looks like she's gonna change her mind, not try to go for it, or maybe waiting for Vi. Going to just call that a fight going in. Shyvana's just going to face tank the tower so they can drop it. But Ram is coming in right now. Oh, with the incredible speed. Ram is just too fast with the Powerball, getting an incredible pick. And now Vi's down 1 for 0, and with an even like all mid fight, and McMaster's willing to dive. That's huge. We might be seeing Baron. We might be seeing another dive. 4v5 is just not a comfortable place for Waterloo to be.
Jinx actually gets her Last Whisper first. She's up quite a bit of CS on the Vayne. Huh. Interesting. Now that she can deal with the Rammus, that's pretty big.
Yeah, but Rammus doesn't actually have that much armor. He's got the Ancient Golem, he's got Boots of Mobility, but the rest is magic resist, so...
Very true.
It's interesting, it looks... Sorry, go on.
He's done quite a bit of work this game, though, this Rammus. I'm very happy with it.
Yeah, no, Rammus has been everywhere he needs to be.
Yeah. Here comes the engage.
Yeah, we have Rammus going for the engage, but it's on Shyvana. Greg is still spinning.
Vi on the Vayne.
Oh my god, Vayne getting dived, but it's not enough. The Ori shield.
Oh, wow.
But, meanwhile, Jinx picking up a triple kill in their subsection to fight. Jinx's damage underappreciated all this time, but it's like it's measuring up to Vayne, and Vayne's gone down. Well, Sona goes down, and suddenly this Jinx is in beast mode.
Yeah, what a
just
monster.
Using, and that was a brilliant use of. We're gonna have Orianna getting hit by the Ice Cube. We're going to have Jinx going in. Orianna is going to go down for the ace. This is big.
Very well played. The Jinx hit the tower to get her speed reset to chase down the Sona. Well played. Very well played. Big turnaround.
Not to mention the separation, the degrees of separation with the Jarvan ult unintentionally, but also the Greg assault by going all the way in immediately. They just isolated Jinx, but the thing is, if you isolate Jinx and you isolate Vayne, and Jinx gets 1 kill, Jinx can close the gap in almost no time, but Vayne's gonna take some time to get back into the fight.
Definitely.
So Vayne was held down, but Jinx, while she was separated, was given free reign, and that just showed. She came in and slaughtered everybody.
Yeah.
Vayne, after
she couldn't really do anything without Vi.
got dived by her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty insane, honestly. That fight was crazy. Well played by both teams, but I don't know, that OP Jinx, man.
Rate you just proving that he knows what he's doing with this Jinx. Now at 10-3 compared to the 7-5 Vayne, who was in such an early lead.
Yeah.
I think we may have all been underestimating Jinx all along because
Absolutely.
that was fabulous and her damage was amazing.
4K gold lead now. Coming out for...
Yeah, Waterloo looking to make the in execution as we saw the game before. Not giving up, not letting any of the problems snowball. And now establishing pretty good vision control.
Vayne has picked up her last Whisper now, and Oriana has her Void Staff, so